Our next speaker first joined Check Point in 1996. He came up with the concept of the groundbreaking product, Provider One, and traveled the world spreading the Check Point story. After a short break from packets and hackers, he founded Dome 9, only to rejoin the Check Point family in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Zohar Alon.
Hey, good morning, Vienna. Hope you had a. It's good that I didn't get the first shift because the room was not so crowded. Many of you were still recovering from last night. Great meeting you all, and my name is Zohar, and I'm going to talk to you a bit about cloud. So, as you may know, I'm in charge of the cloud product line in Check Point, and 2019 was my first full year on the job, and we had a really spectacular year on the business side and on what happened in the world. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things and tell you what the future holds for us. So in 2019, quite surprisingly or not surprisingly, depending on where you come from, we have seen so many breaches that relate to cloud that I really have to hold my head like this. In so many ways, you would expect the customers to become more educated, but as you just saw from the two very wise gentlemen before me, the attackers are getting more sophisticated, and there's so much to gain from having access to your cloud now that I can monetize it, that unfortunately breaches are getting even more common. Capital One, the poster child for public cloud adoption, admitted a breach that they claim cost over $150 million from their perspective. That was all a result of a poorly configured EC2 instance. Having this in 2019 is something that you shouldn't experience, and going into the future, I'm going to show you how. Now, take almost 10 years back, or just a little over 10 years back, to 2011. In 2011, we came out with the early concepts of cloud security, and nobody cared. The interest level we got was zero, and the amount of cloud breaches were 0% because cloud was very, very on. People did not even know how to spell AWS back at the day. In 2018, I was standing here, and I mentioned these statistics to you. 95%. 95 is a big number to go from 0 to 95 in such a not even 10 years. And this year, I'm going to say that the same number has grown to 99%. And you probably ask yourself, what is this number? And this number is what Gartner claimed to be the percentage of cloud-related attacks and breaches that are going to be a result of a user misconfiguration or mistake. This is mind-blowing, and it was mind-blowing a year ago. The fact that they even took it from 95 to 99 tells each and every one of you, our customers and partners in the crowd, that it's completely within your control to prevent this from happening. And with our prevention mindset, I'm going to share with you a couple of technologies very soon that allows you to do so. The breakout session to talk about it, but this, in so many ways, again, going back to the two gentlemen before me, they can do the 1%. They can do the sophisticated, targeted attack. They can show you how it's done. But most of the attackers are not as sophisticated. Most of the attackers just exploit the simple mistakes your developers, IT people, and security people sometimes make. Now, why 2019 is so important is because the complexity level is growing. The majority of companies that are using public cloud today, 62%, are using more than one public cloud. This is, again, a crazy statistics because it shows you that learning how to secure one public cloud is a big task. If you have more than one, your people, your security professionals, the people that work for you, their chance of understanding and containing this level of complexity grows down dramatically. Now, we as security people, we have to enable the business. We cannot say, let's just use one cloud because it makes our job a little bit easier. We have to understand that we have, in the CloudGuard family, we have more than 50 customers that use all three clouds and a private cloud. This is just the Dome 9 example. And this is not going to change. It's just going to materialize as companies are acquiring more and more. Whether you like it or not, in 2019 you were using containers. You were using containers. For every 2 people in this room, look to the person right on the right side of you, or either you or him are using containers. Containers is a technology that was not proven to be at scale. That wasn't used in the public cloud up until 5 years ago. In 5 years, it became the norm. It became the majority. Fast forward to serverless, function as a service, using microservices, the exploit that Yaniv and Oded just discovered a couple of months ago. 36% of you are using serverless today. This is, again, a mind-blowing statistic going into the future. So what did we do in 2019? We've proven to Gartner and to the world that what they call now cloud security posture management, what we used to call the compliance piece of the Dome 9, CloudGuard Dome 9 system, is now an established market. You will hear more and more about it, and we clearly have established our leadership there. We have proven that cloud network security is a critical factor in securing your clouds. This wasn't. We actually convinced Gartner over the past 12 months that what CloudGuard IaaS is doing and the great success all of you are contributing to in making CloudGuard IaaS such a widely adopted technology is something that the analysts and other people that reviewing our industry should understand. We should not forget the threat prevention focused firewall when we look into cloud security, as some of them were claiming up until a year ago. And we've also, I'm happy to say, crossed the $100 million mark in run rate with over 4,000 cloud customers worldwide for Checkpoint. And this is, from my perspective, a claim or a point saying that we are here, this is going to be our main growth area going into the future. Some of the technologies and announcements that allowed us to succeed in 2019 are presented behind me. Things like connecting, supporting networking, advanced networking from cloud providers like AWS Transit Gateway and the Azure V1 allows you to use CloudGuard IaaS as a bridge into and out of the cloud when you transform your wide area networks to the public cloud vendors. We introduced Kubernetes compliance. Kubernetes is one of the coolest new technologies that you're probably using, whether you know about it or no. We are the first to allow Kubernetes security to be done out of the CloudGuard system. And things like cloud threat defense with the CloudGuard Logic announcement in June of 2019, all the way to our acquisition of Protego Labs in December, where we now have the leading technology for serverless security possible. 2020, looking into the future. What I want you to be with is essentially 2 main themes going forward. First and foremost, cloud security has to go deeper. We've covered the entire spectrum. We've covered the entire spec of the network, the compliance piece with the security posture, the threat prevention. We now have to look inside the workload. And this means understanding process behavior, looking at the real-time, runtime behavior of the workload itself, whether it's a full VM, whether it's a container, or whether it's a serverless function. And this understanding, this realization that we are going so deep, in my perspective, kind of completes the picture from what we can achieve and how we can take it forward. This provides a solution for everything that can be done that is not covered by the other realms as we've covered before. The idea that we can understand the behavior of the code, what the code intends to do, and how it affects the process that it's running with is going to be a main theme. And as you could see yesterday, Gil, with his talking about CloudGuard workload, this is going to be a big piece of that puzzle. Another thing is becoming developer friendlier. Now, the 2 gentlemen before me, they're cool guys with a lot of development background. That's what allows them to understand the mindset. But when we look into enabling cloud security with the tight integration. Instead of saying no to those cool developers, how we enable them, how we tell them yes, how do we make them a part of the process instead of resisting to the process. And things like Terraform integration, things like automating the remediation. You want to stay, you don't want to generate trouble tickets in order to solve things that can be solved in an automated way, and to offer developers the ability to self-serve themselves as they are, so they can assess the security of a stack that they are about to deploy, as we are showing with our APIs and technologies for developers. Now a personal story. A personal story, before I joined Checkpoint in '96, this is how I made my livelihood. I was in university teaching CFOs and other executives how to use the amazing technologies of Lotus 123, WordPerfect, and Quattro Pro. Who has used the Quattro Pro in the audience? Why am I showing you this? It's because we don't remember those great solutions for their time. We don't remember them because today we're using this. And there is a reason why we're not using Quattro Pro, Lotus 123, or WordPerfect today. And the reason is the power of the suite. And what I want to talk to you, the message I want you to understand as you look into 2020 and your journey with Checkpoint as your cloud security vendor for the next years, is to understand that now we have a suite of products that are talking among themselves, that are tightly integrated. You can buy them together. You can buy them with the same licensing scheme, pay as you go, bring your own license, and many other crazy ideas that we have to allow you to procure them properly. You don't need to install multiple solutions. You don't need to operate and orchestrate and essentially integrate them. They come out of the box integrated. All the way from the security posture management, the CloudGuard piece, the workload protection, the network security, all the way to the threat hunting and big data analytics that we do for the cloud. And this is going to be the real theme for you going into the future with CloudGuard in the next couple of years, to understand that we are going to introduce new technologies, new products, and new components that essentially allows you to enjoy a suite of solutions that their main benefit is that they will make sure that the attackers and the smart dudes that you've seen just on this stage before me will not be able to slide through the cracks and get into your data assets. This is the most important thing. You can use a great point solution, but the fact that it's not integrated, the fact it's sitting there as a silo, the fact that it's not interacting with other solutions, this is the real drawback. And make sure to realize that, and we will be your partner in making sure that you can not just secure your cloud, but actually secure your everything. Now, we talked about, okay, how is your life is going to look in the next 5 years when you are continuing this journey into cloud security. And it's not just that complexities are going to rise. You're going to see more clouds. You're going to see some shift back to the on-prem. So you're going to have hybrid clouds. Kubernetes is a great technology that enables this. So you're going to use multi-public cloud and also some pieces of your traditional data centers with new technologies, increasing the complexities even more. You'll understand the threats will evolve because the ability to monetize and attack, we see more ransomware attacks. We even see ransomware attacks that are affecting cloud. I can hack into your cloud data, I can encrypt it with my own keys, and I can call you for ransom. And the fact that I have so many vectors in, and the fact that we are moving more stuff into the cloud, means that we're going to be more vulnerable. Probably the most important thing is that people in Seattle and Silicon Valley or in Tel Aviv are working on new technologies to make your developers even more happy than they are today. Remember, we didn't have containers and serverless 5-6 years ago. So over the next 5 years, we will see at least one new groundbreaking technology that will become a standard that you'll need to support for your developers and customers very, very quickly. The rate of adoption is going so fast, and we are there for you. And this is what I want you to take, to understand that CloudGuard has been supporting customers in their cloud journey for so long, and we're going to continue to be supporting you into the future. Thank you very much.